Michelle with Joy Michelle Realty Group, and this is Meredith Driskill with Fairway Mortgage. We've talked a little bit about homes and down payment assistance and different types of things. Calls I get every day are people want to move from the city to the country and they want to build a barn-dominium or they want to build a custom home. But there are different types of loan packages for those, and so I'm going to let Meredith explain all about that because it's a little bit more complicated on my side, and that's what the lender's for. So she's going to tell us all about that process.
Okay. So if you're wanting to, we'll discuss land first. So if you're wanting to purchase just land and build on it, at a later date or whatever, I'm going to refer you out to a guy that I use a lot for a land purchase because that's going to be a little bit different than what I do, which is just a traditional mortgage, and I unfortunately cannot do land by itself. But what he would do is basically do the land loan, and usually it's 20% down for the land, and then you'd get an interim construction loan to start the build of that house. So you're going to have a little bit more money put into it rather than the minimum down payment that we're going to have. But basically what happens is once you do the land and start the interim construction, you pay two payments. You pay it on your land and you pay it on your interim construction loan. And my land guy would basically take those two payments, and he would hand them back over to me once the property was finished, and I'd refinance the land and the house into one payment. So that's what you would call a 2-time close.
Okay. So the 20% down for the land, and then the home's done, the interim. So when it goes back to you, is there whether it's FHA or conventional? So there's another close to where it would be additional down payment.
Yes. So you wouldn't necessarily have a down payment again because you have put money into that property already. You're going to have pretty well instant equity into that property. Okay. So you basically just refinance it, and we'd try to just do it with closing costs only that you would be paying for. It would just kind of depend on parameters of the loan on how much you'd have to put into it, but yeah.
Okay. And right now a lot of people, whether it's a barn-dominium or a custom built home, a lot of people want to do a manufactured home. There's deed restrictions that limit what you can build. So as we're looking for land, as I'm looking for land for you, I'll know what type of home that you want, and that will determine what land. There's tons of land out there, but not every piece of land can do certain homes. So that's something myself as your realtor would determine your goals and figure out, okay, because you'll find land on the internet, but then I'll look it up and look kind of at the deed restrictions and go, oh, we can't, or we can. Mm-hmm. And so even with the loan process, a blank piece of land, so if it doesn't have water and if it doesn't have septic or doesn't have electric, is that something that's rolled into that loan part also, or is that something they have to do separate?
That's a really good question, and I actually am not 100% sure on that. Okay. I would definitely send you back to John. Okay. That he's at First Financial Bank, and I would send you to him, and he can answer all those questions for you.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay, and and as we're shopping for a home, typically, I'll know what the land has on it, and I'll pass all that information on, and I think they'll kind of get that number, that construction number, and I guess all the improvements that you need on the home to move forward. But that's definitely something that I can find out for you and what type of home, and then we'll work together on getting that process going as far as your land and your home. And but it definitely takes the help of a mortgage lender and to make all that process work good. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. Bye.